Some big news coming in. The government has now issued a notice to Twitter to comply with its order to remove handles and content spreading misinformation claiming farmer genocide. Government warns Twitter against motivated campaign to abuse, inflame and create tensions in the society on unsubstantiated grounds. In fact, the government further adds that Twitter unilaterally unblocked accounts, tweets despite the government order for blocking them, and says that if Twitter doesn't obey the government's order, it will invite penal action. Let's quickly cut across to Rahul Srivastav joining us for more details on that. Rahul, here's the government now stepping up against Twitter's policy. In fact, even despite the government giving some information to Twitter about certain handles, in fact, according to the government, is spreading misinformation claiming farmer genocide. Twitter hasn't yet blocked them. In fact, some blocked accounts are also unblocked. Here, government threatening Twitter to take penal action if they don't comply.
Nabila, on the 31st of January, the government had sent out a notice after a meeting in the Ministry of Home Affairs and flagging an assessment by the intelligence agencies that there were certain handles and hashtags which were being propagated, which mentioned genocide and were trying to be inflammatory and spread hatred and public disorder. And following that, these notices were sent on the 31st at 3 p.m. And initially, Twitter had blocked 257 odd handles and 120 odd handles and hashtags. After that, Twitter went on to unblock them. And following that, there has been a huge outcry in the government. The government is worried. As one has seen on the 26th of January, there were violent protests. And the government is worried that such hashtags and content on the microblogging site may inflame sentiment. And that is why a very strongly worded notice, a final notice by the Minister of Electronics and Information Technology has gone. And I will say that the government has issued notice to remove content accounts related to farmer genocide. It says that the content with Modi planning farmer genocide and hashtag was posted on Twitter, which was designed to inflame passion. The government has also said that Twitter is an intermediary and they are obliged to obey direction of the government. Refusal to do so will invite penal action. The government has quoted Supreme Court orders. What the government is saying that Supreme Court that Twitter cannot adjudicate on the fact that what is freedom of speech and what is public disorder. It cannot create that balance. That rests with the central government. And that is why Twitter, when it unblocked the accounts, it was trying to be an adjudicator on public order and freedom of speech. What the government is saying that all these issues are to be decided by the government and central government, which has the powers under the Constitution of India. And that is why the last paragraph is extremely critical, because in that the government has quoted that the Twitter under Rule Section 69 may face penal action, means police cases can be registered against Twitter India and officials of Twitter India if the final order of the government is not complied with.